Hello viewers, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to have a look at the Nostalgia Postcard Collectors Club series. So these postcards are not vintage, they are reproduction postcards, but their theme is certainly vintage. So they talk about personality, seaside, war, fashion, country life, leisure, family life. So for today's video, I think fashion, leisure. Not sure which one to start with. I feel like I could do it some. I'm torn between fashion and seaside. Okay. Leisure. Alright, let's settle for seaside. So let me read all about the seaside. Seaside. As an island race, it is hardly surprising that the British have always enjoyed their coastal heritage. Brighton, Blackpool, Skegness, Southend, and many other seaside towns have always attracted visitors for a day at the seaside or a complete holiday. The vagaries of the British weather do not deter the holiday makers, and on a perfect summer's day, the resulting crowds only add to the fun. Donkey rides, Punch and Judy shows, picnics, paddling, buckets and spades, baiting beauties all contribute to this unique aspect of our national life. These pictures will evoke many a childhood memory. The seaside also means a glorious variety of topographical views of popular resorts and quiet covers, which are Britain's natural island heritage. Okay, so without any further ado, oh my, hang on. It just got mixed. That's bad. Okay, I found where it started. So I will do a video for each category. So stay tuned for that. I don't want to do all of them in one video because that would be too much for both you and me. So first postcard, Paignton, South Devon. Guidepost free from department. Okay. This will be a long video. Let's see how much we can manage. Yesterday's Britain, 1890s to 1950s. The Nostalgia Postcard Collectors Club. So Paignton, Devon in the 1920s. A railway poster promoting the South Devon resort of Paignton, the town 3 miles southwest of Torquay, was served by the Great Western Railway. Before it became fashionable, it was known for its cabbages and cider. In the 1920s, holiday makers might catch a glimpse of Isadora Duncan, a long-term guest of Paris singer, of sewing machine fame at Oldway Mansion, now the Civic Center. It's quite nice. It's got history at the back. I thought it's just purely postcards. So yeah, we can all learn from these. Scarborough. The Nostalgia Postcard Collectors Club. Scarborough, circa 1924. The town rises steeply from behind the sands of South Bay, and the elegant white terraces of the hotels line the cliff tops. The hillsides were landscaped with parks and public gardens. In Frank Newbold's poster advertising the resort, that one, the spa, which housed a natural spring, can be seen at the foot of the cliffs. It was the discovery of this spring that led to the growth of the town. The waters were claimed to have healing properties, and people flocked to the resort to drink it. Exercise and health continued to be associated with Scarborough, and in 1969, the Cleveland Way, which ran from Saltburn by Sea to Helmsley, was officially named the second long-distance footpath in England and Wales. We won't manage all of this in one video. So this is Plymouth the Lido, or Lido. The Lido, Plymouth, circa 1920. The pool at Seaside was started towards the end of the 19th century. It was a saltwater pool, and it was not until the 1919 that mixed bathing was allowed. Before then, the women bathed west of Seaside, and the men's bathing area was separate. The area was constantly being improved, and the pool that stands on the site now was completed during the 30s. Plymouth is more famous for its seafaring history. The Pilgrim Fathers, Charles Darwin, and Captain Cook all embarked from Plymouth. Next postcard, we have a very British looking gentleman. And where is this? At the Seaside, 1920s. This chap is relaxing down at the seaside in flannel trousers and a sports jacket. Acceptable leisure wear for men after the First World War, when informality ruled. Holidays were unknown for working people prior to 1871, when legislation came into effect, giving them at least 4 days holiday a year. 4 days a year! That's not viable at all. People, those days were over, weren't they? With the simultaneous expansion of the railway system, more ordinary families were able to travel to the seaside, at first for health reasons and later for the fun of it. Lucky you. Next postcard. Travel and social history. There you go, they all look happy, of course. Having a picnic. Ramsay Beach, 1950. A young family enjoyed the pleasures of a seaside break on the Isle of Man. Ramsay was sheltered from the prevailing southwesterlies and had such a mild climate that palm trees grew on the seafront. The River Selby reached the sea here, and the natural harbor was always packed with pleasure boats and yachts. 2 sandy beaches on either side of the river mouth were popular with holidaymakers, as they offered safe bathing. The pier to one side of the river mouth was good for fishing, and the sea around the island offered cod, pollock, flatfish, conger, dogfish, and mackerel to local fishermen and tourists alike. You know what I like to collect? The Seaside postcards. I quite like those. And this is one of them. Sea bathing is so good for my arthritis. Well, You ain't got it under the water, you know. Very cheeky monkey. Seaside cartoon postcard. Donald McHale, 1875 to 1962, designed more than 3,000 comic postcards. Okay, so if you're into such things, I quite like that. It's quite collectible. So they're called comic postcards. There you go. Another thing I learned today. I might look for those actually. They were extremely popular at the time and have now become desirable collector's items, definitely. They were considered very saucy at the time, reflecting the air of sexual freedom which was still associated with seaside holidays. The large woman in her bathing costume and the henpecked little man, often poking fun at her, were a common feature of his work. Saucy indeed. Okay, hang on. I need to free my hand. This is a sailboat. Cowes, 1890s. Cowes is in Isle of Wight. The Inverna at Cowes, or Cowes. It is commonly believed that this town on the north of the Isle of Wight owes its name to the gravestone building which now houses the Royal Yacht Squadron. This cow or fortress was built by Henry VIII to defend the Solent, but it was not until the 1890s when Edward, Prince of Wales, raised yachts here that the town became fashionable. The Royal Yacht Squadron is the oldest yacht club with an unbroken service in the world. It became royal in 1820 when an illustrious member, the Prince Regent, was crowned King George IV. So the Solent is the body of water from mainland England and the Isle of Wight. That is the Solent. It's almost like your English Channel, only smaller. So next postcard, we have a social history here. That's her bathing costume with her parasol. Bathing fashion at Plymouth, July 1920. Bathing costumes had come a long way in a few years, but still had a long way to go. This lovely lady with her stylish parasol seemed more interested in keeping cool than in working up a tan. A paddle in the rock pool is most likely as near to the briny as she intended to venture, which is just as well, since bathing costumes had an awful habit of sagging rather alarmingly whenever they got wet. Let's see. And next postcard we have this one, a catch of sprats at Deal. Catch of sprats at Deal circa 1915. Deal, once a main harbor town of the southeast coast and a busy naval and trading center, became in the 1900s a popular holiday and angling resort. Its name is said to come from the Saxon Deal, meaning a marshy place. Deal Castle, built in 1539, is one of the finest surviving examples of Henry VIII's castles. The town's association with fishing go back for centuries, when Deal fishermen used wooden boats called locally hovellers, which were built with hollow ribs, so it was claimed they could be used for smuggling. In 1785, William Pitt ordered every hoveller in Deal to be burnt on the beach, just to be on the safe side. Next postcard, we have social history. Look at that. Where is this? The Clyde, Helensburgh. The plan of this largely Victorian resort was laid out in 1776 by Sir James Colquhoun, who named the town after his wife. The obelisk in the picture stands on the front and is a monument to Henry Bell, designer of the Comet, Europe's first commercially successful steamship, whose flywheel stands in Hermitage Park. The Queen's Hotel was run by Bell's wife, while her husband worked on his ship designs. To the south is the pier at Craigendoran, where you could catch one of the paddle steamers which serve the resorts up and down the Clyde estuary. Next postcard. We'll make this video 25 minutes long. Another fashion and social history. Costume during those days. And the hairstyle as well. No long hair for them. June 1927. Bathing Beauties Ahoy! 8 lovely girls pose in their bathing costumes at Douglas, Isle of Man. The island has miles of silver sands lapped by the warm waters of the Gulf Stream. Douglas is the capital and main holiday resort with picturesque horse-drawn trams and 2 miles of beach. On a clear day, the visitors can see Scotland, England, Wales, and Ireland. Nice. Next postcard, we have a harbor, perhaps a fishing harbor. Falmouth Harbor, 1912. The safe, sheltered waters of Carrick Roads allowed big ships to moor far inland. Falmouth flourished as a port for Atlantic shipping, the first port of call for many ships homeward bound and the last stopping place for those sailing west, which gave Falmouth strong ties with the outside world. But here, the local fishing fleet lie tied at the quay in the tranquil evening light, anchored within a stone's throw of fields where hay is harvested in the summer. Very nice indeed. And here, this is not quite the postcard I'm expecting. It says Russian book. Okay, this is not a postcard. We'll talk about this in another video. And next is, hang on. Okay, Sandown, 1934. Sandown on the Isle of Wight offered all the amusements of a seaside resort, including a pier and a pavilion. Here, 2 cheerful ladies are splitting their sides in the hope of winning the laughing competition run as one of the many pier amusements for the regular holiday makers. The seaside holiday enjoyed tremendous popularity between the wars, most families staying in small hotels or digs run by the landlady, who became the center for popular comedy. She would provide bed and breakfast, and many had the reputation of ruling with a rod of iron. So that's a laughing competition. Okay, next one. Social history by the seaside. Let's see. Margate, this is Kent. Margate, 1932. A group of hopeful competitors stand in line to be judged in a beautiful ankle competition. Is it? I've never heard such competition. Oh dear. Okay. Margate had long been a popular holiday center, and in 1920 a vast fun fair was established called Dreamland. It is now called Bambam Brothers Amusement Park. It stood in the center of a seafront crammed with amusements to add to those already available on the traditional seaside pier known as the jetty. Sadly, this was almost completely destroyed in the late 70s during a severe storm. Margate also offered safe bathing for children on the gentle sloping sands. This looks very busy. Where is this? This can only be Brighton. Let's have a look. Holiday crowds 1929. In the industrial north, it was traditional to stagger the holiday period for workers over all the summer months instead of closing down for 2 weeks and overloading the resorts with holiday makers. Wow, that is definitely overloaded. Despite this, Blackpool during the summer still heaved with crowds. The director of publicity for Blackpool told a Times correspondent that staggered holidays have been a reality at Blackpool for more than a generation, though we do not call the system by that name. The industrial towns of Lancashire and the West Riding have practiced the spread over of their annual holidays ever since the factory system began. Oh, nice social history postcard. Pembrokeshire, 1956. A young family trots down the boating ramp to the beach at Saundersfoot in Carmarthen Bay. During the 19th century, this little village thrived as high-quality anthracite was mined in the nearby pits of Kilgetty and Stepaside. The wagons were brought down to the harbour on a special 2-foot gauge railway and loaded into boats. This continued until the Second World War, when the last of the mines closed. The tunnels through the cliffs remained and offered the children a safe passage through the beaches beyond at Amroth. Another postcard. Okay, that's a young girl. That's a toy boat. We'll make this our last postcard, by the way. Real, 1923. This little girl was able to enjoy a day in the boating pond because here she could safely paddle and sail her dinghy. Real is situated beyond the Dee estuary in North Wales. Bathing along this stretch of the coast has always been treacherous because of the mudbanks and swirling currents of the River Dee. But close inshore along the sandy belt that ran between Real and Prestatyn, bathing was safer, provided families stay clear of the... This is very Welsh again, I can't read that. Estuary where the tides dug deep channels in the sand. Very dangerous, sounds dangerous. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the 25-minute video of the Seaside nostalgia postcards. We managed to do that much because of the history at the back. So we have that much to go through. So I reckon that would take 3 more videos to finish the Seaside series. So stay tuned for that one. But for now, I will call it a day. Right, if you enjoyed this content, please leave us a comment or a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you soon. Bye.